Welcome. Damn it. I haven't fucked up in a while. All right. Welcome.
The same words.
Listen, guy, you mess up the ending about every time. So I don't know if you really want to start
yours is
throwing
three
stones.
of the same words.
But I want to say ladies and gentlemen. That's where I always get hung up. I go to
Okay,
say
gotcha,
ladies and
gotcha.
gentlemen, and then it's inclusive.
Gotcha.
Welcome, late. Oh, for fuck's sake.
There we go. There we go.
You're in my head
Take
now.
4.
Yes, take 3, sir. Oh, Christ. Welcome everyone to Need I Say More, episode 39. I am one of your hosts, Giuseppe, joined by my co-host with the most, Terrance.
Yes, sir.
Need I Say More is back, always imitated, never duplicated. Sounds like something you might say, Terrance, but I said it.
It's definitely true.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Never duplicated. Yeah.
That's you said it better than me.
Yeah.
How you feeling, dude? How's the week going?
The week's been pretty cool. Not much going on. You know, this was one of those weeks that just kind of blew by because it was just nothing happening and so much happening at the same time.
Right.
You know, you ever get those weeks like it's just like
you're doing a lot, but nothing is.
At the same time. Yeah. You know, we had some company. Jalen came and stayed with us for a week.
Friend of the show, Jalen.
Friend of the show.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get her back on.
Jay, she came and stayed with us for the week or whatever while she was visiting New York. And you know, we just played some games and shit. I realized I know nothing about Friends, the TV show.
Oh, really? Oh, do I know everything about Friends?
We have this like trivia card game shit.
Like Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah, no, not Trivial Pursuit, but it's
trivia.
It's like it's just trivia with like all questions about the show Friends.
Oh, I would have done so well on this.
Right,
had me over.
It's cool because I watched it. You know, like we talked about this when I first started dating Corey. You know, and that's when I really started.
Oh my god, that's right. That's a bit of an awkward story. Remember what happened with the?
Well, I told her that
we never told that on the air.
That I was actually texting her when it was shit about.
We never told that on the air, did we?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I kind of feel bad, even though obviously that was handled at the time, so it's not like anything bad happened from it. But that was basically. Do you want me to tell it?
No, go ahead, tell it.
Basically, what happened when Terrance first started talking to Corey 4.5 years ago, right? That was like early 2017, I think.
I think so,
something like that.
Yeah.
Terrance was talking to her, and I think like he hadn't really been into Friends. I love Friends, and apparently Corey loves Friends. And she said something about Friends, and I was like, "Let me respond." I was like, "I know." Let me.
I think we was hanging out. We was hanging out at the bar or some shit.
I think we were bowling, maybe or one of those
like that. Yeah, and she texted something about Friends, and
I was like, I told him what to say. I was like, "Oh, like just this is she's referencing Friends," and she was like, "Oh my god, you're a huge Friends nerd too," and immediately we both felt bad because I was like, "Oh, we were just kind of messing around." I didn't want to like. Think it was like a shared interest type thing. We felt bad, but he explained it right afterwards. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's all good now. But
Friends is amazing. You should watch it.
The thing is this: like I watched it, and I watch it in passing. I put it on in the background.
No.
I just can't sit down and watch back-to-back episodes. Like I'm gonna force myself to do it because of this game. Because we have this game.
You get ass kicked.
I don't want to lose. Corey was busting my ass during this game. Jay was a little high, so she doesn't count. But I was actually trying to win in this game. I think I got 2 cards to her like 8 or some shit. Like
why you should have had me come over in this? We all could. I could have been on your team. That would help you out.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Joe's gonna come over. Joe's gonna be on my team.
Give you a better edge.
Corey will play by herself. And we'll play the Friends trivia game. But besides that, man, it's been a cool week. What's up with you? How's your week been?
It's pretty good. Working, well, not working, but in school. So I'm doing a lot of, dude, let me tell you, fucking math. I would legitimately end my own life if it meant not having to do math anymore, which I guess it does. But that's how much I hate math. It's so fucking stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever that we have to that we require people in college to take this, even though we'll never, ever, ever use any of it. Like immediately.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like trigonometry,
anything
and
above
then
algebra,
anything.
above
Oh
algebra,
yeah.
calculus, trigonometry, all that.
Oh
Listen,
yeah.
Terrance,
Makes no sense.
in December, right when I have my exam, everyone in that class, including me, will empty all of this information out of our heads and we'll never use it again. And that's a fact. So
It is a fact.
So why are we making why does everyone have to learn this? I would love to know how many jobs in this country use any of this stuff in any capacity. Because I'm pretty sure it's
you had an interview and they're asking you, hey, do you remember this equation in order to get this job at McDonald's?
What jobs are find the f of x if it's 2x cubed? Who's doing that? What job are you walking in there doing that?
Nobody's doing that.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think
they give a shit about that,
bro. I think legitimately, there's probably 100,000 people in the country, and there's 278 million adults. So here's some math for you, Terrance. How many people? What is the percentage of people that need this math? The answer is 0.001. So why does everyone have to learn it? If you told me half of all jobs used it, I would even say then, well, I don't know if we every single degree should have a specific map, and prerequisites math shouldn't be one of them. It should be specific. And math is famous for people hate math because it's hard. You'd think someone would go, this is fucking stupid, but no one ever does. Like we say on the show, Terrance, question everything, but no one does. Everyone's sheep. And they just go along with what's going on. So instead of going, we're teaching something that no one uses, let's not do that. Anyway, well, I have some good news though, Terrance.
What's up?
Did you ever watch that 70s show?
Yeah, I checked that out a couple of times.
So I loved that 70s show, right?
I put it on late at night before I went to sleep.
Right. So I, like most kids, I think our age, I was in Nickelodeon, Disney Channel growing up as a kid, preteen. Yeah. Once I got to high school and I was 13, 14, I started to get into more regular sitcoms, I started to understand
how cute Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. Oh God, she is.
I started to understand how cute she was.
She's only a few years younger than us. She was 14 when that show
started. She's younger?
No, or older. Sorry, she's.
Oh, I was about to say.
I think she's only she's only 37 though. I know she's with Ethan Kutcher, but okay. I think I still have a shot. Thing was, I started watching Friends for the first time and 2.5 Men, and that 70 show was one of those ones that I fucking fell in love with. Now I've watched the entirety of that show, well, except for season 8, fucking 10 times because it was on Netflix and everything. Anyway, long story short, apparently the people who made that show are bringing to Netflix that 90s show.
Oh, that's fly.
Right? Terrance, we are in desperate need of a show based in the 90s. Listen, in the 70s, there was a show called Happy Days. It was about the 50s. Okay. Mm-hmm. In the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a show about the 70s called That 70s Show. Even now, there's The Goldbergs, which is a show based on the 80s. We are in desperate need of a 90s show. Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's going to come on Netflix, which is good. Listen, the show might not be that great, but what's weird is they're actually the main two characters of that 70s show. Apparently the plot is their kid is the star, even though they're not really in it. And then the mom and dad from that 70s show, Red and whatever, it takes place in Wisconsin, the same place. And it's about this girl, living through the 90s. The parents, which are her grandparents, are there to be the bridge between these shows. And so obviously I'm sure we'll get some guest stars, Ashton Kutcher and all these people.
Wait, so are you talking about what was the kid name? Red's son.
Eric Foreman.
Eric and Donna.
Eric and Donna. Yeah. So apparently it's about
kid.
Their kid is the main character.
Oh, that's dope.
Apparently they're not going to be necessarily part of the main or as of now.
Yeah, but you'll know that's their kid. So they'll find a way to introduce it.
I'm sure. Listen, it's the same people who made it, and it's not like Topher Grace is doing anything with his life. But apparently Red and Kitty, who that's were Eric's parents, well, whatever. Grace. I like Topher Grace a lot. He just you know what it is? He started taking on really weird characters, and he's kind of got typecast. He took on Venom. But that version of Venom was a really weird character.
Yeah, that was corny.
And then all his movies, he was Predators. He's always was a weirdo. And I was now he's just cast as weirdo. That's why he doesn't pop into much because he's just kind of this weird guy. But what I was gonna say is apparently Red and Kitty from that 70s show, who are her grandparents, are gonna be on the show, keeping an eye on things. Dude, Red Foreman is basically me in 30 years. Just a curmudgeonly old man who hates everybody and just wants to be left alone. I'm basically that already.
You know what though? It's nothing wrong with that.
Being that
Like,
being that way, or
no, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be left the fuck alone. As you get older, you realize how much you really just don't want to deal with people.
yes, dude. That's why last week we talked about the dumb roommate. I think Jackie is what we called her, who like talked to me for months about moving in and then decided she loved where she lived.
Yeah.
I got the replacement is a woman who lives upstate. She's going to be here 3 times a week. So I have
Yeah.
barely going to see her. My other roommate, I'm not going to mention any names. She works she works Monday through Friday. She leaves at like 8 a.m., comes back at like 11. So she's basically, and she's great. She's never here. My other roommate's not really here often either. And all of them are also really cool. So it's just a quiet apartment now. People just keep to themselves. We talk if we need to, but it's chill, you know?
And that's what you want.
That's what I
Also,
want.
speaking
I'm
a
old
little
now.
bit about the 90s again,
Hit me with it.
they're rebooting the Fresh Prince with the more dramatic version
It's
of
not
it.
about the 90s, but yeah, it's basically like what would really happen if a kid was sent from Philly to Bel Air because he was like
I'm
a delinquent.
I'm absolutely here for this.
Yeah, I'm excited to
I'm
see. It's
I
not
want to
based in the
see
90s though,
this.
right? It's based in
No,
now.
no, no. It's no,
Yeah.
it's based on the show. Yeah, but the
I'm saying,
show
but
was in the
it's set
90s.
it's set current times.
Yeah, yeah, but the
Yeah.
show was in the
The
90s. You know
show
what I
was in
mean?
the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to
they're
that, man.
redoing that.
I remember watching the homemade
The,
trailer that started the
which
show.
shout out to those guys because it
They gotta get
wasn't
done.
they did it just as a trailer. They didn't think it would catch this much
I think they were
steam and
hoping it would.
actually, yeah, obviously you always hope it would, right?
I
But
mean, to be fair,
you go into it just trying to make something good.
that's not that a lot of people what they're doing to kind of get something started is either making a trailer or they make like a short to see you got to gauge interest like
You got to see, yeah, you got to
like
see what's
Power
going on.
Rangers I think did that, which even though the movie was nothing like it helped make that movie possible. Like a lot of people like they'll like
Mortal Kombat did that
Mortal
before they
Kombat did that.
relaunched it.
They made the Uncharted one. But a lot of these things are to showcase either people behind it or like the actors just to get like, hey, this is what we want to do. And it doesn't always
Yeah.
lead to like
And it's not
making that.
the
But
good thing the good thing about it is that it's not the studios that are doing this. These are
no.
people that were invested in whatever it is, Fresh Prince or Uncharted or whatever the case may
Yeah, and that's
be.
a great like that's the thing. The people who made the
It's
trailer
yeah,
for Bel
it's
Air, it was like
I'm invested in this show, I grew up on this,
yeah, I
and,
fucking
and
love
I
Fresh Prince.
I just thought about how this shit would be, in a more dramatic and more serious
Well, that's
storyline.
they're basically but what they're doing is they're basically saying, what if we took the plot of Fresh Prince, set it in current times, and made it more realistic? It wouldn't be
Yeah.
so funny. It would actually be like this is
No,
you
it's
have this
but when you think about that,
it's
right?
funny because they
It's
made it a sitcom,
serious
but
shit.
that's what I'm saying. In real life, if that happened, it wouldn't be funny. It would actually be like you have this kid who's this black dude surrounded by a bunch of white
Yeah.
people and this weird. He's gone from kind of not living on the streets, but living in more I don't know rougher life, whatever you want to say, to
Remember,
live
there's an
in
episode where Carlton brings
mansion.
a gun to
That's a serious episode. That's a serious
class.
episode.
There's one of those. There's one where Ashley, I think is going through some bullying and stuff, and we're trying to figure out like her body and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
There's a lot of very serious
there's a
episodes they dealt
lot.
with. Yeah.
There's a lot. Hillary's a hoe. I mean,
you don't have to shame her,
what it
just slut
is.
shame her. I mean, just because she,
we're not slut shaming
I
her,
mean,
but
so is
like,
Will. So is Will.
so is Will.
Will was
Will's a
way
hoe as
worse than
well.
she was. Will, slept
so
with every woman that walked by.
So now as being fans of it, I'm excited
Actually, to be
to
fair,
see how they.
I guess he wasn't really
make that.
sleeping with that many women. He never really did. The first time he like I think goes
He
to
was
have
just
sex,
always
was
getting
like,
turned down.
yeah, I mean, it was the show never said he was really banging chicks. Like I think it was
Yeah.
there's that one episode I don't even remember where he lies to a woman about marrying her just to get in her pants, and then he realized, but that was when his first time, I think. But he ended up not doing it because he realized what a horrible person he was.
Yeah.
But
Hillary was just looking for dudes with money,
and she succeeded. To be fair, she was always getting like, remember, she always knew all these crazy celebrities. It was always like a weird thing.
Yo, they have to do the thing where the dude proposes to her and dies. Or he jumps off
Hillary,
her.
will you?
Yeah, he got
That's one of the crazy.
They can't don't make that serious. If I have any requests, do not make that part serious.
I think they won't do
funny.
that. I don't think they're going to do specific plot lines because the plot lines are too funny. I think they're going to make, like they said, they're taking the base plot of taking a kid from Philly, dropping him in Bel Air, and they're going to make, I think, essentially their own things from there. I don't think they're gonna like look at this. Maybe they might do
There's certain things you got
the
to keep.
dad
Though.
episode.
Will is he's associated with it, so there's things that you got to keep.
I would say the dad episode might come in, but I think I feel like you
Oh
can't
no,
go back.
that's hand down.
No. I think that's too iconic at this point. I think you can't go back to that because you won't do a good
You
job.
have to though, Joe, because you have to touch that. Everybody is actually looking for that because in a comedy
That's
it was
too
serious.
iconic,
So
man.
in a dramatic setting, it's gonna be even more serious. I mean, you're not gonna have Will. It's just not gonna be the same. You're not gonna have Uncle Phil.
I would be surprised if there's probably gonna be talk about his dad, but I don't think I don't think maybe they have the exact same plot, but I'm sure his dad will pop in and they'll do
I
that.
think they do the exact same episode.
But why? I see I think that as a creator, his whole idea was not to remake the Fresh Prince, but to set the Fresh Prince in now and make it realistic.
Absolutely.
So I think the idea of taking the exact comedic, well, not the exact sitcom plots they had and replicating them exactly is exactly what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, but like you said,
like he's gonna deal with his dad, but I don't think he's gonna. But
it's such an iconic episode.
So you think he wants to retread an iconic episode just to make it not as good? Because he won't be as good.
No, I think, but no one thinks it's going to be as good, right? You're not expecting it to be as good. You expect it to be, a different version from, a similar universe in a sense, right? Like what Marvel does. Like this is a different version of something we already know.
That's what I'm saying. I think they'll do. I think
submitted.
What I'm saying is, I think his dad and how he doesn't have a dad essentially around is going to be a big part of it, as it was with the regular show. And Uncle Phil basically becomes his dad. But I don't think you're going to see a specific one episode where his dad comes in and he says he's going to go away with him, and he does, and he leaves him. I think I would be surprised if his dad wasn't reoccurring, pops in a couple, like once a season, and just messes with his head, not intentionally, right? But comes into his head and it fucks with his head because he's like, oh, my dad's in town and this is great. I just don't think they're going to have the exact plot of his dad comes in town for one episode. He forms a bond with him and then he bails. And then that's because then we've already seen that. They would do something completely new.
We've seen it in a different way. I'd be one of those people. I'd want to see it again in this.
Terrance, if you were behind this, you wouldn't do that. You would never go, I'm going to copy everything someone else did. You'd go, no, we're taking the idea.
Everything. I'm talking about literally just one specific episode.
The most famous episode. Easily the most famous episode.
Iconic episodes.
Easily, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, like his dad will be featured in some capacity. I'm sure it's not going to be one episode where he comes in and then says he's going to go with him and then he bails.
It'd be kind of cool if they don't show his dad at all, and the parents, when they actually show his dad, it's Will.
Oh man, Will Smith actually comes in and is
Will Smith
dick
being
father.
His dad, and being like the asshole father.
You know what it is, man. Will Smith he basically never plays the not hero of something. Like, when has he ever played a not hero in a movie? He's always the main hero. He's never a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know if he'll change for that. Maybe he would, but
I think again, because it's so iconic, you almost, I think you gotta incorporate him in some way. And I think having him as the father that left, and causes that heartbreak, I think that'd be pretty dope.
I think I'm saying, I think that, we'll see. Anyway, we're talking about this enough. But anyway, that 90s show, I'm excited for. Listen, that's one of my favorite shows of all time, that 70s show. And so to basically continue that in the 90s is like a marriage made in heaven in my own head. But it could be totally lame, right? Like, who knows if it's gonna be great, but I'm excited for it. All right, Terrance, we have, before we get into a thing we want to talk about, let's do our patented Black Excellence shout out of the week.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black.
Oh, yeah. So, Black Excellence, can't stop, won't stop. Shout out of the week goes out to, this is a special shout out. This is actually a really special shout out. Okay. It goes out to Brian Leach, who's actually a personal friend of mine, founder of Polo Grounds Music. And I'm pretty sure you're like, who the hell is Brian Leach?
There's a hockey player named Brian Leach.
What the hell is Polo Ground Music? And I can tell you right now, he probably prefers it that way and would actually really love that. But just to name a couple of artists that he has brought to the world, You got ASAP Rocky. You got Pitbull. I think you recognize those two names.
Yeah.
All right. You got ASAP Ferg. Nina
Why are there
Sky.
so many ASAPs on here? What's that about?
ASAP is always strive and prosper. That's a group. It's a collective group. Really cool. Nina Sky, Hurricane Chris, Yo Gotti, Young Jock. Everybody remembers Young Jock. It's going down. And a couple
Is that
of
who
other,
Young Jock is?
yeah,
Meet
Young
me in
Jock
the
is
mall.
it's
It's
going down.
going down. That
Yeah,
guy?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's the only thing I
Right.
ever. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no.
Okay.
And as well, Brian's birthday is coming up next week. So shout out to Brian.
I mean, so is
Happy
mine, but whatever. I
pre-birthday.
guess we'll talk about his birthday on the show.
Are you Black Excellence, Joe? This is not.
I mean,
Black
I think
Joe.
I think I qualify depending on the terms you use.
All right. This is the Black Excellence shout out of the week, Joe. Let's not interfere with your birthday.
I'm just saying,
All right.
it's our show.
No, but I say that really because I met him at Barclays when I was working at Barclays, and he's been really cool as a mentor to kind of give me a little bit of advice. Great conversations I've had with him. Went to Miami, he treated me like family, visited his home and everything. So as I was doing like this behind the series kind of thing, I thought it would be really cool to kind of close it out with somebody that that you actually know, and it's another October birthday. So
October is the power month, man.
October, yeah, it's a lot. Listen, our birthday's in October. Corey's birthday is October.
Your
Corey's
dad, my mom,
my dad, your mother,
this guy, Brian. Leach. I mean, come on now.
Jalen. No, Jalen's in November 1st.
I'll still get the fuck out of here, Jalen. You missed the cutoff. Sorry.
You just missed it.
Be great. She was born at
24 hours.
If she was born like 1 a.m. It's like, well,
you just missed it, right? Diddy's October as well.
You can blame your mom for that, Jalen. Diddy, there you go, Diddy.
Diddy's October. Listen, there's a lot of success in October.
Yeah, man, October's the best.
There's a lot of success.
Mel Del Toro's birthday is in
famous
October.
Director.
The Asian kid from Spider-Man.
The Asian kid from Spider-Man. We're gonna bring him on the team too.
Actually, this is a big
Drake's
one.
October.
Do you want to know whose birthday is not only this month but is today?
Who's that?
Steve from Blue's Clues.
Steve from. Oh shit!
Today is his birthday. He's 48 today.
That's dope. Look at that. That right off of coming off of a great little shout out as far as what Steve dropped on Twitter and set social media on fire.
Yeah, he's the world, man.
Yeah, happy birthday, Steve.
Can we get a show where he just teaches us how to be adults? That's what everyone's asking.
Happy birthday, Steve. That's dope. October is a power month, man. It's a power month for power people.
We should do power shout outs this month. We should have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, we still got the rest of the month. So
yeah, we still got a few more weeks to do this. So
yeah. And my behind the scenes series is completed. I hope.
Oh, it was a mini series. Okay.
Yeah, it was a mini series. Yeah, I hope people enjoyed it.
Next up, the power shout outs.
Next week, I'm gonna do the next episode. I'm gonna let you guys kind of figure out where I'm going with it, but I think people will enjoy that as well.
I'm gonna leave you a series of clues and see if you can figure out.
Yeah. But I think people enjoy it as well. Yeah, we gotta start.
That's you, Brian Leach. You share a name with a former Ranger, so there you go.
So
she's both. To be fair, both Brian and Leach are spelled differently, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But all right, Terrance. So let us go into first. You have a bit of a we got something we got to talk about. This is something that has to be talked about.
Man. This is some shit, right? And what pisses me off is that you little young motherfuckers got nothing else to do with your goddamn lives, right?
Generation Z is fucked.
This is absolutely ridiculous that the shit y'all will do for attention. There's a new challenge happening called the Slap Your Teacher Challenge.
Can I make a quick interjection? Every quote unquote challenge that's ever existed, almost every single one of them is the dumbest thing that exists. Stupid. It's just an excuse for people to do stupid things. I don't know why people are like, I guess this is an excuse like anything. Like, oh, well, now I can dance outside my car to this song. I don't understand why people do them. It's like, it's so stupid. Don't be a sheep,
Stupid as
people.
shit.
Question everything. Don't be a fucking sheep and do some dumb quote unquote challenge, aka like a dare, essentially.
That's what it is. It's a
When
trending dare.
when we were growing up, Terrance, people would dare you to do something. Now we have that, but on a global scale. Someone
Yeah,
calls,
but you know what
it's
our
a
dares
challenge.
were? Our dares were like, I dare you to like jump off of that bench onto like some other shit.
Put your tongue
you know?
on this cold pole.
Yeah, I dare you to do something like. But again, we're all together. We're all gonna do this stupid shit together. I'm gonna dare you to do something stupid.
But this is what I mean. It's like everything is an extreme, and now that we have a global scale, people can't just go, "Oh, I dare you to do this." People got to go, "Oh, here's the dare. I challenge you to get out of your car while it's moving and dance to a stupid song." And what could possibly go wrong? Like this is, it's like, isn't there's some milk crate challenge? I've seen people fall like
milk
it's
crate.
just,
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just like
it is hilarious though.
But I'm saying, but
it's stupid as fuck, but it's hilarious.
Every one of them is stupid, and maybe some of them are harmless stupid, like that. Like someone climbs up a thing, hurts themselves. Other ones are like the one you're about to talk about.
And this has to be one of the challenges that pisses me off, right?
It's not even a challenge. It's just
whatever the fuck it is, right? Because I have family that are educators. My mother drove school bus for fucking years. So this quote unquote slap your teacher challenge, and I gotta say this person's name because stupid people deserve to have their name plastered everywhere so that the world knows that they fucking stupid, right? Lariana Jackson.
It's a dumb first name. No offense.
Lariana, whatever. How the hell do you say it? Whatever. Lariana Jackson was apprehended Wednesday when police responded to the Covington High School in Louisiana about a physical assault on the teacher. Authorities discovered that the incident was recorded later for the popular social media challenge that shows students hitting their teachers. Understand this, you little dumb fucks. You're in school to fucking learn, right?
Dude, if any challenge, any quote unquote challenge involves you with hurting someone, then you're just an idiot. I don't know. It's not worth it. It could be anyone.
But on the simple fact that these teachers wake up in the morning earlier than you think you're waking up earlier. These teachers got to be there before you. They wake up early in the morning, have a whole lesson plan for you, have to teach you little ignorant motherfuckers. Then they got to sit there and grade it, tell you you're wrong or right, and then challenge you.
Wrong, probably a lot for these kids.
Guide you to get to a certain level in life that you have nothing, like you have no clue how hard it is.
Also,
you're fifth. How old is this girl?
18.
18.
Also, something I'll say about teachers, the only thing I've ever heard about teachers, and I know several teachers too, is they put a lot of money into their own stuff because they have no budget for like
supplies.
Yeah, they have
those little pizza parties and shit. They're spending their own money
even on stuff like markers and chalk. Like unfortunately, like the school budgets suck in most of the country, I think. So a lot of teachers they're like, well, I could give my students a half-assed education, or I'm just gonna have to spend my own money. So.
Listen, I need to make this very clear. This shit has to stop. This has to stop. There are so many better challenges. There's so many other creative things that you kids.
How about the go to college challenge? Let's start that up, Terrance. The go to college challenge. If you go to college and get a degree, then you win the challenge. So let's start with that.
It is so many opportunities that you're afforded. You have a tool. This social media thing is a tool. It's a powerful tool. For you to get on here and start slapping your teachers just to be trending or some shit, I just don't understand it. Not to mention, let's put this out there too. They're risking their lives. COVID is still out here. They're going into classroom risking their lives because, I mean, statistically speaking, it is understood, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the stats in front of me, but it is understood that students learn better in a physical classroom setting. They've seen the numbers drop dramatically last year, when everybody had to work from home and do school from home.
Yeah.
It wasn't healthy. So these teachers are doing a lot. And this challenge, needs to be condemned. I'm glad that TikTok is banning it. Not banning, but they're taking the videos down if it is uploaded. Look, we can't stop you stupid motherfuckers from doing stupid shit. But what we can do and I think this has become a theme of the show, is tell you dumb motherfuckers that you're dumb, that you're being stupid. All right. And the shit like this needs to stop. It needs to
if
end.
there's any quote unquote challenge that exists
I'm
that
off my
requires
soapbox.
you, if there's any challenge that requires you to do something stupid, which they all do, just here's my challenge to you: that don't do stupid challenges. If it requires you to hit someone or to climb on a bunch of milk cartons and break your arm, so your mom has to probably pay for your hospital bills,
I just
or
don't
requires
get
you to
it.
dance outside of a moving car, listen, you're not stupid. You know these are stupid things. Like, don't pretend like you don't know. Just no. That's the thing, James. The
just
need
don't
I
get it.
the need I say more challenge. Don't be fucking stupid. Let's
Yeah.
see how many people can pass that challenge, Terrance.
Yeah.
In 1 year from now, October 9th, 2022, we'll see how many people have passed the challenge. Send us a video of you not being stupid.
Because it needs to happen. When you think about the things we did, right? And we did, let's not, I'm not on a high horse.
No, we
I
were
did
dumb.
stupid shit. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you know what it is, man?
Not
Because
on a high horse.
when we graduated was right around when smartphones were just starting to kind of come out. So part of the reason I think probably is because we didn't have social media and like everyone sharing everything. So like if there was something people were doing, like I remember, I'll give you an example of something stupid we did, right? There was, and I don't know if this got over by you, but there was this thing where if you let's say you put yourself your back against the wall, right? You bend down halfway and you cross your arms, you bend down halfway and you start breathing for like 30 seconds, like normally. And then you get up really quick and someone pushes pushes all their weight on your crossed arms on your chest, and then you pass out. Right?
Fuck no, I ain't get over here.
It sounds mad, right? But it's like you literally just pass out. And if you've never passed out in your life before, which a lot of people haven't passed out, it's really disorienting when you get out of it. Like when you wake up, it's not even like you wake up and you literally don't have any memory of the specifics. It takes like a few seconds for your mind to catch up to like how you got, even though you'll pass out for like 5 seconds. It's like the dumbest thing in the world, but we did it because it was funny and because we heard about it and it was stupid, but we didn't hurt anyone. It was us. And even if we hurt ourselves, which maybe we did,
right. Even if if hurting yourself is
I'd rather you do the milk. I'd rather you do the milk. You just the milk crate. If you want to do the milk crate challenge and hurt yourself, whatever,
go ahead.
Though I wouldn't make the argument that if you fall and break your arm and you're in school and then your mom or dad has to pay for that, then it's not cool anymore. So that's what I mean. Like,
it's just as stupid, right? I know in New York, something that was happening out here was if you had rollerblades, you'd be like you would grab the back of the bus and you would like safe. let that bus like drag you or whatever. Like,
didn't Miss Sylvia somehow get involved with you doing that?
No, Miss Sylvia thought I was doing that.
Okay? So I was close.
It was a UPS
that's a good
truck.
Memory, Terrance. You
It was a UPS truck, and Miss Sylvia thought I was doing that. But all I did was jump on the truck,
Bible studies,
jump on the back of the truck, and then jump off. That's all.
It's not much better, but
yeah, but the truck was parked. It was
Sylvia. If you're listening,
we delivering stuff around.
Here's the thing, Terrance. We talked about earlier. We just want peace and quiet. Now, Miss Sylvia had peace and quiet. She insisted on getting involved with you. So that is not the same thing.
And that was another thing. Back then, we had old people that all they did was sit in the window, or nosy neighbors that just sat in the window,
try to get people
and they would see shit, and then they would tell on you. They would tell on you. Like that's just what happened. Now, the lack of respect for the elder is like, it's atrocious, honestly. Like we do not know it all. Even as I'm growing and keep getting older, I don't know it all. So being fucking 18, you don't know shit.
Yeah, here's, and I've said this on the show before, when you're like, if you're below the age of like 24, you're a fucking idiot. Now, as a 30-year-old, I understand that might sound crazy, but the reality is I'm sure a 40-year-old would tell me the same thing, that I don't know shit. Okay. Absolutely. And you learn more as you go. Like, obviously, I think presumably you should. If you're 30 years old, I think you should be in better situated to handle a lot more situations than at 20. But trust me, when you're between 18 and like 23, man, you're just an idiot. Like that's when you should go from your sheltered existence of going to school and living with your parents and basically having no real freedom to finally going out and having a job. Maybe you move out, whatever you do, your freedom you're learning how to become an adult. So you're a fucking idiot. Hopefully by the time you hit like 24, 25, you start to have an idea of like, okay, I kind of understand who I am a little bit. I kind of understand like the way of the world a bit. You kind of understand some of this stuff. And so definitely you should be better off. But yeah, like these challenges, Terrance, I'm telling you, man, the need I say more challenge is to not do anything stupid. Or you know what? The need I say more challenge, don't do any dumb challenges other than this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
it's idiotic. I'm
all
over
right,
it.
Terrance. I have a question for you.
What's up?
Do you've heard the term like someone be like, oh, that guy's dating a chick out of his league?
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm
Now,
dating a chick out of my league right now.
Right. So my question is, do you believe it's a real thing? Like people date outside of their league, or you think it's just all bullshit?
No. I think that term outside of your league, I think that's from the outside in, right? Because the outside will say that it's outside of your league. But I tell you this, when I met Corey, I didn't think she was outside of my league. I just thought that, wow, like this is somebody that I didn't think I had a chance with. And maybe you could say that that's outside of your league. Right?
When you say it's from the outside, you mean like from the outside people looking in? Like they're looking like if people outside, see you, they go, oh, he's dating out of his league, but they don't obviously know. Yeah. So I've thought about this before. I had a conversation with a friend about this a while back. Where like people say, oh, like you dating outside of your league and everything, but I think that is only really applying to like physical, like your like what you can see, right? Like every woman I've ever been with, I'm sure everyone who ever saw me, Terrance, I'll put it this way. I am date so out of my league that if me and my girl are at the grocery store and we put our groceries in, the cashier puts the little divider in between our groceries. He just assumes we're not together. Yeah. But that's the thing. But when you really understand a relationship, chances are like that's probably not really the case as much because like you don't really know those people. And when those two people might have such a great connection and all these like great things about them.
Bond,
Yeah, like it's about like it could be any like sense of humor and just like how each person speaks and the level of trust and how they like those things are all very just specific to people. And I think
first of all, like I don't think, and when people say that, I'm gonna speak from a guy's perspective. When people say that, like if somebody was to say that to me, like, oh, like your girl is out of your league, I'd be like, yeah, you think I don't fucking know that?
Oh my God. Yeah. Every time like, yeah, absolutely. She is.
What you're saying right now is not offending me. It's actually an achievement right now. This is a fucking, like, this is amazing for me. I'm having the time of my life every single day.
Yeah.
Like
I've always said the same thing too. I'm like, yo, like
I'm waking up next to her. You're upset because you're not. Like it's a whole mindset thing. Like it's I don't know.
I agree.
Another thing is people need to mind their fucking business. So what?
I mean, it's whatever. But I agree. Like, yeah, technically, if you really want to, like, every woman I've been with is out of my league. Like, they're way hot, and I am not. Right, and I get that, and I've never said anything else. But you just don't know the relationship, right? Like when you actually get down to the relationship, like it's not, relationships aren't based solely on what one person looks like, and the other person looks like.
Like I'm actually really funny. Or I'm a really good cook and she loves that.
And that's the thing. It's
like those, it's multiple things that goes.
It's those kind of things, and it's also like the connection. Like I assume you're the same way, but like if this is you meet a girl, you think she's hot, and you can say this about Corey. Once you started talking to her and getting to know her, she becomes like way hotter. She's like, oh, you totally get along. Like you guys click, and that is a big thing. I think I think it's bigger for women than men. I think it's important for both. I think for sure women are looking for that connection way more than they are physical attraction. I think they're looking for both.
No, people do become more attractive the more you start to understand them.
There's a term for that. I don't know what it is. There is like a pansexual or one of those.
But also the mystique of something, the mystique of someone is attractive as well. Getting to initially? The courting phase. When you're getting to know them,
it's fun, yeah.
And you don't know, you're like, okay, she does this, why does she does this? Or she has this cute little thing about her, or like something that you find out later on, and you're like, damn, like that's fucking sexy. Like it's like that little, I know everything about you, but I still don't know everything about you. I still have that 4 years in our relationship. Like it's
and I
find out new shit and I gotta write it down or something. Like
something you've probably dealt with now with Corey since she's like kind of your longest relationship is that it's awesome the initial time when you like you're courting. Like that's really fun, exciting. It's like one of the more exciting times of like any relationship. But once you get past that and you're like a year or even more in, there's a different level of like trust and like knowing someone so well that it's almost better than like it's not maybe quite quote unquote as exciting as the initial part, but it's better because you have such a level of trust with this person that you could do anything. You know exactly like if anything were to happen, like she would still be there. Like it's unless you fucking hit her or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a level of trust that you have this person that's so deep that it's like it's amazing. It's like it feels so good to have that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good.
Speaking of dating,
and I
the
don't
way,
think
Terrance,
anybody is out of my league, before Corey,
Well, I mean, you've already hit you already have your 10 out of 10. So I mean, you can't really
Yeah,
you can only go down from here, Terrance, is the news. I have to tell you.
Yo, that's crazy because me and Corey was talking about that last night. Like, why do men cheat down?
Like, dude, I'm telling you, man,
we cheat down. Like, I'm being real.
I genuinely think that we live in a world where people just get bored. It's not even about finding a hotter person to cheat with. They just want something different. And I guess I kind of understand that a bit, but like, I've never been in a relationship where I'm like, oh yeah, look at how hot that girl was. I should want to fuck her. And I'm like, I already have a hot girl. Even if she is quote unquote hotter, it's still just going to be sex. I have awesome sex already.
That's the fault that I made earlier in my life is I did a lot of cheating down. And when I did a lot of cheating down and I'm sitting here like, oh, but she's missing this piece. Oh, but she's missing this piece. Oh, but is because I kept going down and down and down looking for the missing pieces. And it's like, no, she's always going to have a missing piece, you idiot. Like you're never going to find, until obviously, I walk into a bar one day and meet Corey, but you're never going to find the one that has everything you need. But even so, the things that she doesn't have, you're willing to work with it, accept flaws and accept the person for who they are.
The flaws are what make a person, like flaws people like there's no such thing as anything being perfect. And also a person's flaws are what make them them. Like you don't want to date someone who's perfect. Like really, you want to date someone who's perfect for you, but not who's actually perfect. Cause that'd be weird.
I mean, like Jay-Z said one time, you must love me.
What did Wesley Snipes say in the situation?
Wesley Snipes said, cancel that hoe.
Speaking of dating, I was thinking about Terrance super early on this show, like one of the first episodes we did, we talked about we said in October. I remember I just recently about this in October when we said, well, hopefully the pandemic's in a better place, but it is. We talked about, I think it was pickup lines, and I said pickup lines are bullshit. And you said, no, they totally work.
Yeah.
And
said, we got to go out.
Remember this?
We got to go out. We still got to do that.
Listen, it's October, man. It's admittedly not as cold as I want it to be, but it's about to be.
What is it? We got the pickup lines.
We're gonna go. You're gonna have to give me some, like, not like
give some pickup lines.
Stupid, like, is that a mirror in your pants?
No.
I'm like, actually, and we're gonna come back on the show and we're gonna talk about what happened because it's October. Weather's about to get nice. The Nets are gonna start playing again. Me and you are definitely gonna start seeing each other more moving forward, in some capacity. One of these nights we're gonna have to do this. Last night. That's preseason. I mean, who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Shout out to Cam Thomas.
Fuck you. If you're listening, Kyrie Irving, you can go fuck yourself.
Oh man, we're not.
What's funny? On the backcourt, me and you, I talked. How many times did I rail into Kyrie, and you kind of defended him at times. But I think you're starting to see where I'm coming from. How annoying he is. He's just annoying, and I don't want to bring this up because we'll talk about this for the next 4 hours. Yeah. But anyway, so we do have to do that. But Terrance, I want to introduce a new segment, and we'll see how. It doesn't have to be every episode. We'll see how it plays out. But the segment, we'll see if we can come up with a better title. It's called Hit or Miss. Okay. So I'm gonna hit you with a scenario, and you're gonna tell me. We'll talk about what we think about the scenario. Okay.
All right.
This is the scenario. I saw this thing where this guy proposed to his girl, right? But what he did, and I don't know if you've seen this. This is like a year or two ago. He didn't have like a tiny box a ring comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have that. What he had was like a bigger one that would almost like you'd almost imagine like a huge necklace would come, right?
Oh, okay, like one of those. Okay.
It's like a big square, like the size of his hand, basically. Now, when he proposed, he opened it up and there was 8 wedding rings. Okay. And it was, she, of all different kinds, she could decide on what her wedding ring is going to be. Is that hit or miss, Terry? Is that good? Is that a good move? Is that sly? Or is that just like, bro, the point is you're supposed to make a choice for her.
Listen.
There's a real thing. It's a real thing that happened.
I saw this video. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I saw this video. It's fly. I'm not gonna say it's not fly.
You think it's a hit?
I think it is fly. I think it is fly, but I think it is extra as shit. I think it is completely for cameras. I don't think
Also,
it
bro,
has
you can't-
anything to do with his actual thought process and was
No,
like,
no.
if there's no video footage of this, right?
It wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist.
You're not doing 8 rings and proposing to her with 8 rings and saying, here, make a choice or whatever. You know how long you're gonna be your fucking need? Like she's gonna try each ring on.
Well,
look
no,
at it in the
I think
light,
you
like,
get back up
come
at that
on,
point.
man.
But listen, a lot of our world only exists because there are cameras around. So I do agree. But here's the thing: you can't go back to a jeweler with that wedding. ring.
like
You can
that,
only
that shit
pawn
don't-
it.
Yeah, the jeweler had to be in the corner. Like the jeweler had to
Now,
be there.
But that's the thing. I think let's say he spent fucking 10 grand on all those, or probably more if they were nice. The fact of the matter is, like, you can't just return those.
Yeah, it
you
don't
need
work
to
like
like
that.
you can like sell it at a lower price, but you're losing money. So is it would you say it's a hit? Like, is it a good fly move, or is it really
It's
personally?
fly. It is fly. You can't deny that it's fly.
No, I
It is-
disagree. I
It is
disagree.
fly. You had the ability to go to your girl and propose to her with 6 different rings.
No, see,
Here, babe.
let me hit you. Let me hit you.
decide.
Let me hit you with my argument. The
I think it's
wedding
kinda
ring,
fun.
the engagement ring, rather, which is the engagement ring is like one of the biggest purchases you'll probably ever make. It's one of the biggest things, not only because of the
Absolutely.
cost, but because of what it signifies. And you're
Right.
supposed to get a ring that you believe is something she'll love and will signify your love forever, right? It's supposed to be a choice. I mean, that's like saying, if Terrance, when you get married, if you have like 6 best men, then that's not cool. Make a fucking decision, commit to that decision. You can't make 6 best men well, because then it deludes it. Then no one is really your best man. It's just a bunch of people.
Or
You know?
everyone is equally.
That's like when someone says everyone's special. That's the same thing as saying no one is special.
Everyone is special.
Well, are they though? Anyway, we'll get into that some other time. But the
Yeah.
point is,
No, it's fly. I think it's fly.
I'm going with miss.
From personal side, like me and Corey are actually picking her ring together.
So I don't
like we're both making the choice.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because that is actually apparently becoming more common, of like choosing your thing. But that's not what he did. He wasted money for a camera shot, and like, you're supposed to commit, man. Like, you're just, here's a bunch of options. Like, and also, no
if
offense
anything,
here, but
she's probably looking at this and being like, here's an indecisive nigga. I don't
Yes.
really know if you're gonna be the one
that's
for
also,
me.
and also,
If you
no
can't
offense-
go to a store and choose a ring for me,
also, Terrance,
how are we gonna make this work?
also, Terrance, not to generalize here, but how fucking long is she gonna take? I mean, that's like a 3-week process.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be a long ass process. I'm not getting on my knee with 6 different rings. This is not happening.
But so what is the answer to this? Is it a hit or is it a miss? I don't know if we got to
know
come up with
what?
a better phrase, but
as we talk this out more,
change your
it's
mind
a
a little
miss.
bit. Yeah.
No, it's a
Like I
miss.
said, I'm not saying there's not some value in it, but I think if you said, would you rather do this or not? Like, is it a good decision? I think no, because like I said, he lost money in this. Not only he has to buy the actual wedding ring, but he has to then like lose money on every ring you purchased.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. So I think we'll see how the segment goes. We don't have to do it every week, but I think if we encounter situations like this, we can bring it to the show. We'll talk about it.
No, it's definitely a miss.
Something miss. All right. All right, Terrance. So to close out our show, to kind of bring us one of our last topics here, I want to talk about old friendships.
Really?
You, of
Are we
course,
doing this? You're gonna make me cry again.
you want some more lighthearted? Is that
No,
serious?
go ahead.
So you, of course, know our good friend Hip.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
there's a man out there named Hip Rivera, awesome human being. Quick backstory
Chris
on this
as well.
Oh, Chris, yep.
Go
That's
Chris.
We'll go over that in a second. Hip started working Toys R Us, I think like 2011, I think it was. And he quickly became a good friend of me and Terrance. And for like a year, 2 years, we had like a little, we call it the tripod. We had like 3 of us who were like really pretty good friends, and we hung out a lot and everything. But then Hip moved, I think his family was moving, so he moved with his family to
VA, I think. Right?
No, it wasn't. It was one of the Carolinas, Myrtle Beach, whichever one that is. I probably shouldn't be saying the exact fucking city. Not that it matters really. It's a big city. Anyway, he moved out there. And as the next, that was in 2012, he moved. And over the next, I'd say 3-4 years, we also talked here and there, you know, whenever it is. I remember there's a time where you were talking to him on the phone and you got like pulled over, didn't you? And you got like in trouble.
Yeah, I think me and him were talking.
Yeah, I can't remember what the story was, but like you got like, it was like you had like a not a warrant, but you had like you didn't like there's like something wrong and you didn't correct it and then you got like in more trouble than like you probably supposed to. Something
Yeah,
crazy like that.
I think it was a light or some shit.
Yeah, it was some stupid shit like that. But what I'm saying
New
is
York City cops be going too crazy.
yeah, well, you're a black dude, so if it was me, they probably wouldn't
Yeah.
care.
Yep, that's true.
It definitely is true. So anyway, but then honestly, after like 2016-ish, 2017, like I haven't spoken to him much. Have you?
No, same here, man.
Yeah, like it was one of those
Um,
things where even like once, twice a year, he'd come to New York City and we'd hang out. I know Terrance a few times. I think you weren't able to come out, but
yeah.
it was awesome. He was a great friend, and it just as time goes on, it's one of those things like he doesn't live anywhere near us. And we've even talked about doing like a road trip out there, me and you, like just hanging out for a week. And this is how life goes. You know, you want to do these things, you don't do them, and then like I haven't talked to him forever, and I feel like it sucks. Like I wish him all the best. Obviously, it's not like we're friends, but it's one of those things where it sucks because we all have stories of other people like who you're friends with, and then it just life goes on, it fades, and it just never keeps going.
I think there are multiple people like that, right?
Yeah.
They're like sometimes you sit down and you just start thinking and reminiscing, and like, man, like I used to be really tight with this person. You know,
You
now I'm
remember
not close with them
Nolan
anymore.
from Toys R Us?
Nolan. Yeah.
Me
I
and
remember
Nolan became actually pretty good friends for like a year or two there, like around the similar time where like actually that's funny. There was a time
I'm sorry, I was thinking of Neville. I saw
Neville actually a couple years ago. Nolan was a dude who worked at the Ferris wheel, remember? He was like jacked.
Puffy hair.
Yeah. And he was like fucking in great shape. Like he worked out a lot.
Yeah, he was like the gentle giant kind of kid. Like
yeah, I mean, he wasn't like especially tall, but he was like jacked.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I remember me and him became pretty good friends. I remember in his weird twist, like I think Nolan was like he's like a year or two younger than me, and he needed some alcohol, so I went and bought him some. And somehow Hip hit me out at the same time, and all three of us ended up back in my apartment, like. And one of my rooms was empty because someone was about to move in. And so we ended up with one of my other roommates, all four of us, like we ordered a bunch of pizza. We started drinking and playing like cards. And I got wasted that night. Like I'm not a big drinker, but I remember getting like pretty hammered. All of us did. We were playing like some drinking games.
Yeah.
That was like one of those random things. But Nolan's one of those dudes I really like. He was a good friend. And then like, I remember literally like someone was calling him up. Hey dude, like I was going to do some shopping. You wanted to like, come hang out? Like we would hang out and it just faded. You know, and like it's one of those things that just sucks. Like there's no real reason it happens. It's just that's the way life is.
And I think, people, Kanye saying people are in your life for seasons, so
yeah.
it's kind of like it happened for that moment, and you enjoyed that moment. And of course, like, if it's kind of fucked up to say this, but if the relationship or the bond was a little tighter, it probably would have, continued and extended. Not to say that, things weren't cool, when we were hanging out and vibing and everything like that. But, people get to different points in their lives, and it's not that we all forget shit, right?
Right.
We all forget, to hit people up, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because we got live. You got work, you got kids, you got friends and girlfriends, and
things just became more serious. Back in those times when we were a little bit younger, we don't really have a lot of responsibilities, don't really have that much.
What's an interesting way to actually describe that? So I think I mentioned I watched the Friends reunion, and the way the creators and that they were talking about, the idea of the show came about when like that time when you're in your early mid-20s. And you're no longer in school, but you're not quite settled down. And you're in that weird place where your friends are your family. Like that's how the show started. Like, your friends, you hang out all the time, you're seeing them and they're your family at that point, because more than your family is. And that's where that show started out. And then obviously when the show ends, you haven't seen it, but like they all kind of start having their own families. And that's why it ended. That's kind of, I guess, the period we were at, right? Like 10 years ago, we all had our families, but like, that was what it was. You were hanging out with your friends all the time. You're seeing them and you're going, and then as time goes on, people move or they settle down with someone else or whatever happens. They get too busy with their job. And let me ask you a question, Terrance. Is it one of those things where we should maybe feel bad that it faded? Or is it one of those things where you go, you know what, man? Like,
no.
It's kind of like the seasons thing where it's like, they were in my life for this amount of time and it was awesome. And if I were to see them again, I would totally talk. It'd be great. But it's one of those things where you go, that time is probably just we're never going to really have that again. Like, that time has passed and you just accept it.
And that's it. I think it's the second one. I think that's how you have to look at those situations, because it's like, what do you feel bad about? like no one did
Well, I
anything
guess
wrong.
yeah, but I guess you feel bad because it didn't need to end. Like a lot of these people, it's like Kip doesn't live here, but like some other people, like I've had friends who do still live in the city, and it faded, and it's like you almost feel guilty because like it didn't need to fade. Like you were good friends and you could have remained that way, but there's
Mm-hmm.
a lack of communication is really what happened, and that
Yeah.
so you know what it is. I guess it's just hard to kind of accept the finality of it, right? To be like, yeah, like Nolan, for instance, like I probably will never really become good friends with him. Like I said, if I saw him, it'd be cool. But I think it's probably done. Hip, you never really know. We were pretty tight with Hip, and who knows? But he's doing his own thing in a different state now. So
Yeah,
it's
he's in another state. He's
it's 1,000 miles
rocking
away,
with the
literally.
restaurant thing that
Eh,
I think he had going on or
yeah,
whatever.
I think did he open his own yet? I think he was trying to open his own. He was
Yeah,
working
yeah,
on it, but
yeah, something like
yeah, I
that.
guess it's hard to just. It's kind of like when a TV show, like they want, like Friends, I guess again, everyone wants them to bring it back in some capacity, and I think it's one of those things where, as much as you want that, it's best to always want that, but leave it where it was. It was
Mhm.
great what you had, you loved it,
It was fun
and
while it lasted.
yeah, and then you have to you can still remember those times and keep those lessons learned, but
Right. It doesn't make the experience any lesser than just because things kind of faded. I mean, look, if we're being completely 100%,
yeah,
you and I go through that sometimes throughout the years of our friendship. Sometimes
yeah,
it'll
and definitely
it'll be
not
like
as
not as much, but sometimes it'll be like a couple of months in between, or
well, yeah. I mean,
we're just like we didn't talk as consistently
well,
or
that's the
something
thing.
like
Like
that.
if you go back to last year during the pandemic, man, like especially during the first few months, you think we'd been talking all the time. I mean, we were just sitting on our asses at home, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
talk to you much. Like 2020, me and you didn't talk that much at all till the very end because we
Yeah.
were starting up the idea of the show. We were doing some stuff, and then because that's one of the great things about the show is we're able to talk every week now.
Yeah.
Like we have like time and we come on and do this, but you are. There's definitely been times where a few months at a time, like we don't really maybe talk at all, or maybe a quick text here and there, and
Yeah. Yeah. And,
yeah,
and those things happen, man. Those things just happen.
it's hard to accept it. I think like I don't want ever you not to be in my life in some capacity. I always want to be able to talk to you and have that. So it's hard to even look back at old friendships. Like Nolan, I haven't talked to Nolan in any serious capacity since like what 2013, but it's even still hard to be like, yeah, that's it. I don't know why.
I
It's like
tell
a
you
weird.
this, I love that this is something that that you think about and actually comes to mind, because I think a lot of people try to ignore that and won't be honest with themselves about it, about the
Right.
fact of damn, I had a bond and I had a friendship that faded away. And yeah, sometimes I do think about that. you know I have that with people from high school, people that I grew
Mm,
up with, people I used to work with, and those are always the
yeah.
tough ones, right? The ones you used to work with, because work
You,
is really where you used to spend a lot
yeah, dude,
of
when you're spending 40,
your
45 hours at a
yeah,
place and
like,
you're working with them a lot of
so
it.
when you connect with someone at work, and then like you get to start hanging out a little bit after work and stuff like that, and then let's say you or the next person goes on to another job and that kind of like dwindles away. It's like, damn, like, that's kind of crazy. Shout out to Nicole, who I used to work with in Lower East Side or whatever. I still chat with her from time to time. Wayne as well, and it's like, even though it was a short period of time that we worked together, you know, you still come across these people and think about them. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, you were dope. You were dope.
Yeah.
Us hanging out was dope. So it shouldn't change because we don't work together, but it does.
I think like me and you met at Toys R Us, but obviously we haven't not I quit in 2012. It's been a damn near decade, and we're still friends because that's just I think it's I don't want to say it's hit or miss, but sometimes you just don't always carry certain friends on. Sometimes
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
Like Jenny.
But
Jenny
no,
was on the
even after that though, we linked up again at Barclays.
we did, yeah, and then
We linked
technically
up,
being again at
yeah,
Google, but yeah, you know what it is,
yeah,
man.
a little bit of Google, right?
As we're talking,
That's crazy. I know you're
three
trying to get to
jobs,
something really quick,
3 jobs we worked together.
but it's crazy. Not only because 3 jobs, it's when you left Toys R Us, right? I got over to Barclays, and then you went through a period where you were
I was at the
looking.
Gap.
Yeah, you were at the Gap, and didn't want to be there. You were looking for somewhere else or whatever. And I'm the one that kind of helped you a little bit
Yeah,
into Barclays,
good
and
interview.
then I went through the same thing,
Yeah,
and you're the one that
I
kind
helped
of
you with
reached out
Google.
and helped me get into Google.
Yeah,
So it's bonds like that. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can hit up my boy and be like, if he has something going on that he can help me out with, he's gonna do it.
Right.
And it, it's vice versa.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty. And you know what's funny, man? We're both kind of studying similar things. I would be surprised if we didn't end up working at the same company in the future.
I can see it. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. One of us is gonna have a job, the other one's gonna be looking and be like, "Yo, like I can get you an interview with my company."
Yeah.
Why not, man? But yeah, what I was, I guess, trying to say before is that it's, as we're talking about this, it is one of those things where I'm like, I'm like really actually working out in my head about like, yeah, like you have to kind of accept that those friendships were at the time and a place. Doesn't mean they're not as important at any point, but to kind of look at it and go, like I said, I don't keep bringing up Nolan, but Nolan, like he might have just been, we were friends for those few years. We had fun. I love the dude, wish him the best, but that time has passed and maybe something will happen in the future or maybe it won't, but it doesn't take away, it doesn't make it less of a friendship, right? Like it was still a friendship during those times,
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
It's hard though, right? To like accept that. Like if you feel, it's hard to make anything final in your head, right? You're hard to be like, this person's still alive. Why can't I be friends with them? It's hard to really kind of go, no, like it's over. It's weird.
Yeah, but shout out to all the friends that we lost touch with. Shout out to the ones,
the fallen ones, as we call them.
The fall offs, the faders.
Yeah. Maybe they're thinking about us too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're on their own podcast talking about us.
I like to think that, anybody
maybe
that
Nolan
I've interacted with.
Maybe Nolan and Nicole met up somehow, and now they have their own podcast and they're talking about us.
That'd be funny. But no, I like to think that anybody that I've interacted with, I left a sort of good impact on them.
I think anyone that
some way, right? Like I don't know.
Right. I like to imagine that anyone that I consider to have a friendship at some point, they also considered a friend at some point. Like I hope Nolan does go back and go, yeah, me and Giuseppe were friends. And then I hope he's not like, who? I barely remember that guy. But yeah, I think it's, as human beings, we have these weird things that like no other creatures really deal with, like an old friend that we wish we kind of still had, but it just kind of, that's that deep shit that if we were smoking, we'd probably get much deeper into. But all right, Terrance, that brings us up towards the end of our show. We of course end every show with a hypothetical.
What you got?
All right, Terrance. So let's say it's basically the Matrix. Let's say right now, as you are, you could put yourself in this little pod, and before you go in, you can program it to be exactly what you want, a perfect life. You can say, I want to spend the rest of my life with Corey, and I want to have the kids, and I want this, and I love this food, whatever it is. You can make a flawless life with no problems. And then you get in the tube or this little pod, they close it up, and then you're sent into that tube. And it's like the Matrix where it feels identical. If you eat it, you taste that food. It doesn't just, it's not like it's VR. It's like a real, you're in that. And then you spend the rest of your lilife in this thing. And then when you die, but you're in this perfect world, like you've crafted yourself. And when you go in, you don't remember that you did this. You just, it's just like Matrix.
You're just living.
Yeah. You don't really, I guess it's basically the Matrix. Would you do that? Like, would you put yourself
100%.
in this perfect world?
Absolutely.
You would?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I would absolutely immerse myself in this because this is everything I've ever wanted. Why would I want to put myself? Why would I want to continue to put myself through this chaos and structure of
work
just insanity in
pandemic.
This world? Right? Like
that's the thing. You could literally make it so that you don't have to worry about money. Done. Money doesn't exist in your world.
Right. Money is not an issue.
You don't have a job. You can focus on like making music or doing poetry or whatever you want to do. Like that's
people don't jump into the train tracks when you're trying to head to work.
Well, hopefully people just don't kill themselves in general. Not so much at any inconvenience to you, but
this is everything you've ever wanted. So there's no way, in my opinion, there's no other way to go. Like throw me in it. When I go, I go.
Because there are people who like, I know, like, I think when we were younger, a lot of people who, when you first watch The Matrix, you're like, oh man, I don't want to be in the Matrix. Like, wake me up. I want to fucking, get the fuck out of there. I don't want to be lied to. But I think as people start to get older, but when I was a kid though, I definitely didn't want to be like in that. I mean, you want to be, you don't you want to believe the movie. You want to get out and see the world for your real, see the real world. But I think as people get older, you kind of go, that fucking world sucked, man. They were living like eating gruel and shit. Like the Matrix is great, and obviously the Matrix could have it's totally normal life, but if you could craft your own world, then it's everything you want. You could eat as much, like I could live in a land of desserts and never have to gain weight.
I mean, look, they said, the lie is more entertaining than the truth, right?
Yeah. But it would be the truth though to you.
Right. By the way, the truth to me.
Because remember I told you like a month ago, I ordered like a bunch of like brownies and cookies and stuff from this like really nice place. I might have ordered it again. Some more stuff. And it's so fucking good. But I'm like, I'm going to get fat as hell if I just eat this stuff all the time, but if I live in that perfect world, Terrance, I could eat stuff whenever I wanted. And I would never get sick of it either.
Straight.
Yeah, I think I probably would too. Maybe it's not a good thing that we'd want to just, we wouldn't really be living those lives, but I guess that's up to debate though, right? I mean, if you believe you are, if everything feels and tastes the same, then who's to say you're not really living that? It's like Inception.
Yep.
Do you ever Inception where
he's like the dream or living in one? Right.
That's the thing. Because Inception is a time where like, he's like, these people come here every day and they go under the drug and they do for like, and then they're like 40 hours. And so they come here every day to fall asleep. And the guy's like, no, they come here every day to wake up. Who are you to tell them otherwise? And it's like, fuck, it's right. Like if you're in this thing and it's as real as anything else, then why isn't it real? What is real? If not what you can perceive.
Nothing's real.
Because we could be in a matrix right now and then it's just a shit matrix. I don't know why they put a pandemic in it. Maybe someone got sick up there. I don't know. But anyway, Terrance,
sick up there.
If you want to follow the show, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Need I Say More Pod. Or you can, of course, email the show. A lot of emails flooding in, Terrance. We didn't have time to get to some of them. But you can email the show. Need I Say More pod at gmail.com. But that's it for me, Terrance. You got anything?
No, man. I enjoyed today's episode, and we talked about friends fading, but I hope you never fade from us, because you could have been anywhere in the world. Sweet. But you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Need I say more?